We tend to glorify or place the idea of having a mentor on a pedestal, which is fine. But remember, you're surrounded by a group of amazing photography friends that could teach you a few things. What you gotta do is dig a little deeper. In this episode, I'm gonna give you tips on how to dig a little deeper. Let's dig in. Welcome back to my channel. To those of you who are here for the very first time, welcome. And to those of you who are joining me yet again, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share, like. If you feel like this video is gonna resonate with you, let's keep it moving. So we're gonna dig into the psychology, not even the psychology. We're going to dig into why you should appreciate your photography friends and the fact that it goes beyond just photos. In fact, let me break it down. Let's picture a group of the 7 dwarfs. They're all dwarfs, but they all have different personalities. Picture yourself and your photographer friends. I've got amazing friends. In fact, I'm gonna start the list with the very first one. Look, we all love photography, ne? But they're just certain elements that we're super passionate about, which is why we're not all the same. The first person I'm gonna touch on is the equipment guru. There's that photographer friend who knows about all the equipment, from the mirrorlesses to the 2.8s to the A. You can tell I don't know much about equipment, but there's that photography friend who will tell you everything about every single piece of equipment. So in most cases, if you need to know which piece of equipment to buy, they are the perfect person to go to. The second photography buddy, the computer genius. This photographer buddy just has a passion for computers. Whether it's a Mac or a PC, you'd almost think there's a little IT person in there. If you want to know about specs and cards and memory cards and gigabytes, and they are the person to go to because they are so passionate about these things. Third person, the software guru. This person is obsessed with the different types of software. Look, we know about Photoshop and Lightroom, but this person will tell us about other softwares we don't even know. Capture One, Photoshop, Lightroom, and all the other delicious bits of software that are out there that they are super passionate about. Look, they'll even tell you about the plugins because some of us take the long drive. Go to your friend that's good with software. They'll be like, hey, why are you wasting your time? Just create a plugin. They know all those things, so keep them very close to. And then the learner photographer, the friend who has tons of PDFs on their machine, tutorials, like they know about the latest tutorial. They've got like stacks and volts of. So if you have a problem that you'll run into, not that they'll know it themselves, they'll be like, actually, I downloaded a thing on Flash the other day. Maybe I should hook you up. And note, as I'm going through, see if you can relate to any of these. Don't forget to share this if you know of any friends that are like this. Don't forget to just subscribe, and I'm gonna move on to the next one. And then you get the business expert. Now, this is the friend who will ask you, so what are your plans for the year? How's your calendar looking? Have you thought about your packaging? Have you looked at your business expenses? Yeah, I'm sure you get it. In fact, speaking of which, I have a friend who's very business-minded, a photographer as well, who was asking me something very simple. He was like, how do I hand over my clients' photography images? And I was like, on a memory stick? And he was like, yeah, what kind of memory stick? And I was like, on a SanDisk. And he giggled. And he was like, nah, buddy, branding. If you're gonna give good quality images, then the whole package has gotta look good. And I was like, oh. See, I just had a vulnerable moment there. So I'm gonna change my ways and do better this year. And then there's the hobbyist, the photographer that does it for a hobby. Usually this person is happy at their full-time job, but just wants to dabble in photography. Now, what I like about this friend is that they're not trying to do photography full-time. They just want to explore, experiment. They're always carrying their camera and they're like, oh, let's go shoot that project. I find it super exciting because these friends are the ones that will always remind you to shoot for fun, especially when the business stuff gets a bit intense. This is the one friend that's going to be like, oh, let's experiment. Let's do photo challenges. Let's try something different. And the next friend, the psychologist. Now, this photography friend is the friend that you can tell that you've messed up on a shoot, where you're like, oh buddy, I messed up my settings. Oh buddy, I got to a shoot late. Oh buddy, I lost images. This is that one friend that will not judge you, that will share their experiences and stories and motivate you to keep going. Because hey, we deal with some very difficult situations in the photography space. So yeah, the psychologist, I think I kind of fall under that with these videos, right? And then finally, the marketing person. Now, this person knows how to sell themselves. They're not afraid to sell themselves to the people. They are their own evangelist, if I can put it like that. They believe in their product and people believe in them. This is the type of friend you want around because they will always make it seem like social media is a walk in the park, or just marketing themselves in a room is a walk in the park. So, that is how I want you to look at your photography friends. It's not about the outcome of the images. It's not about all this hectic stuff that we tend to look at a photographer and be like, it's not a competition. We all have different things within photography that we genuinely enjoy. Like, I know I'm not an expert when it comes to equipment, and I'm super grateful for my photographer friend that's really good with such, and all the other ones that have bits and pieces that will help me grow as an individual, as a photographer. So don't compete. Even though reality is there's some that are competing, but stay in your lane. Appreciate you are. Appreciate your friends and know what info you're getting from them and vice versa. That's all from me at this video, but I'm gonna do a quick recap. Let us go through all the photographer buddies or personalities that you could have in your friend group. The one who knows everything about the photography equipment that you need, the lighting, alles. Then there's a computer guru who is so fascinated by how computers work, how they process things, what cards to use, what memory thingies to use, what externals to use. Then you get the software junkie who will tell you that, nah, Photoshop is not the only thing. There's CorelDRAW, there's Lightroom, trust me, this software junkie knows everything. The learner, the one photography buddy who has every single tutorial you could think of on any subject, who, is willing to hook you up. Then there's the business expert. That one friend that will remind you that you are running a business and not a spaza shop. Then there's the hobbyist, the one who's okay with their life and their job, but just wants to do photography as a side thing, as a hobby, out of curiosity. The beauty with this friend is that they'll always remind you to stay fresh. Then there's a psychologist, the friend that will hear you out when you've messed up at a shoot, when a client's upset you. You can basically just tell them anything, be vulnerable, and they'll listen and motivate you and remind you to keep it together. And then finally, there's the marketing person, the marketing friend who believes in their product so much that is willing to sell themselves like it's the easiest thing ever. So there you have it. Think of which photography friend fits which category. See which categories you fall under. Maybe you fall under a few. And comment down below, which category or which type of photographer do you think you are? That's all from me at this video. If you found it helpful and fun, feel free to share. And remember, loosen up. Yes, there are a lot of photographers, but we're all good and passionate about different things. Goodbye.
Third episode in the yellow outfit and take 1.
When the child's about to run off and you're like, yay!
It's like when you're angry and things just start to go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Like this God saying, dude, calm the fuck down.
Oh, he's on some. Okay, keep going. Negative. Keep going. And I had it so nicely in the beginning.
Yeah, she had it so nice.
That very first one I did was...
That very first one she did was...
It's not just about the photos. It's not just about it. Why am I speaking like that?
I don't know.
It's not just about it.
But I also start my own now, right? Gonna speak like this from now on. Yellow one, take two. This one, yellow.
Yellow
take two.
summer, yellow summer, yeah, yeah. Yellow summer. That was MTN, right?
Yes.
Do it again.
Are we whistling right now while the camera's rolling?
Oh, sorry.
Shit.
Okay. I like this friend because they will kind of keep your mind open and you guys can. What are you doing?
I'm calling the cat.
No, man, you're distracting
Sorry.
me.
Hobby?
Goodbye. What? You do that like you didn't do something.
Yeah.
Yo, Lesego.
The audio didn't record. I'm kidding.
You're childish.